All right, so get ready because today we are going to dive into some really, really intriguing territory.
Oh, yeah.
The world of Carl Jung
Okay.
and the idea that we can shape our reality using the power of our minds.
Interesting.
You know, I've always been fascinated by this concept of manifestation.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it's always felt a little
Right.
mystical and out there.
I understand that skepticism.
Yeah.
It's easy to just dismiss manifestation as wishful thinking.
Right.
But what if I told you that Jung,
Okay.
a respected psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
believed that our unconscious minds are far more active,
Right.
influential than we realized,
Okay.
that they actually play a role in shaping the reality we experience?
Okay, now that's got my attention.
Good.
So we're not talking about some magical law of attraction
Yeah,
here.
no.
This is rooted in actual psychological theory.
Exactly. Jung's ideas about the unconscious mind,
Mhm.
particularly the concept of complexes,
Yeah.
provide a framework for understanding how our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs can influence our perceptions and experiences.
So how does this connect to the idea of manifestation?
Well,
I'm eager to unpack this.
imagine this.
Yeah.
Your mind is like an architect,
Okay.
constantly designing and constructing your reality
Yeah.
based on the blueprints you provide.
Okay.
These blueprints are your thoughts,
Mm.
emotions,
Okay.
and deeply held beliefs.
So if I'm constantly thinking negative thoughts
Yeah.
and focusing on what I don't want,
Mhm.
I'm essentially building a reality filled with those things.
You're catching on quickly.
Okay.
It's like programming a computer.
Right.
The input you provide your thoughts and beliefs
Mm.
determines the output, your reality.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also feels a bit daunting.
Yeah.
If my mind is so powerful,
Right.
how do I actually harness that power to create the reality I want?
It starts with awareness.
Okay.
Becoming conscious of the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping your current reality is the first step.
So, okay.
You can start to deliberately shift those patterns.
Okay.
Think of it like weeding a garden.
Okay.
You pull out the unwanted thoughts, the weeds, and
Right.
nurture the ones you want to grow.
Yeah.
The positive, empowering beliefs.
That's a helpful analogy.
Yeah.
But what about those deep-seated beliefs that feel almost impossible to change?
Yeah.
Like, what if I have a core belief that I'm just not lucky in life?
Oh, yeah.
How do I uproot something so ingrained?
That's where Jung's concept of complexes comes into play.
Okay.
Complexes are like unconscious programs running in the background,
Oh.
often stemming from past experiences or conditioning.
Okay.
It can create self-fulfilling prophecies.
You mean if I believe I'm unlucky, I might unconsciously sabotage my own efforts?
Yeah.
Or focus on negative events,
Exactly.
reinforcing that belief?
Precisely. But the good news is,
Okay.
once you become aware of these complexes,
Yeah.
you can start to challenge and rewrite them.
So how do we do that?
It's a process, and it requires consistent effort.
Right.
But visualization is one powerful tool.
Okay.
By vividly imagining the reality you desire,
Mm.
feeling the emotions associated with it,
Okay.
you start to reprogram your subconscious mind.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
No.
It's about creating a full sensory experience in our minds.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about engaging all your senses,
Right.
sight,
Yeah.
sound, feeling,
Okay.
even smell and taste,
Wow.
to make the desired reality feel as real as possible.
Okay.
Think of it as creating a blueprint so detailed
Yeah.
that your unconscious mind can't help but start constructing it in your external world.
Okay. That's starting to paint a clearer picture.
Good.
But let's get real here.
Okay.
I've tried visualization before,
Yeah,
and sometimes it feels like
right.
just wishful thinking.
Sure.
How do we know it's actually having an effect?
That's where the placebo effect comes in.
Oh.
It's a fascinating phenomenon that demonstrates the mind's tangible power to influence the physical body.
Okay.
In medical trials, people who believe they are receiving treatment
Hmm.
often experience real improvements,
Really?
even if they're given a sugar pill with no active ingredients.
Wait, so you're telling me that just believing something
Yeah,
can actually trigger physiological changes in the body?
exactly. The placebo effect is a powerful testament to the fact that our minds and bodies are not separate entities.
Wow.
They are deeply interconnected,
Right.
and what the mind accepts as true,
Yeah.
the body often follows.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah,
It really underscores how powerful our beliefs can be.
absolutely. And the placebo effect isn't just limited to medicine.
Right.
It can manifest in all areas of life.
Oh, wow.
If you believe you're capable of achieving something,
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to take the actions and make the choices that lead to that outcome.
So it's not just about positive thinking.
No.
It's about aligning our beliefs
Well,
with our actions.
precisely.
Okay.
It's about embodying the reality you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
And we see this in the lives of countless successful people.
Right.
Think about Thomas Edison,
Okay.
who famously said,
Right.
I have not failed.
Mhm.
I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Wow.
That's someone who deeply believed in his vision and refused to let setbacks deter him.
That's inspiring. Or Oprah Winfrey,
Exactly.
who often talks about visualizing her success
Yeah,
long before it became a reality.
exactly. These individuals didn't just wish for success.
Mhm.
They acted as if it were inevitable. They
Right.
embodied it in their thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Okay, so we're starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah,
Awareness, belief, visualization, action.
yeah,
It's all interconnected.
yeah.
But this is where things get even more fascinating, right?
They do?
Jung also talked about something called the collective unconscious.
Yes.
What's that all about?
The collective unconscious. It's one of Jung's most intriguing and mind-bending concepts.
Okay.
Imagine a vast, interconnected field of consciousness that we all tap into.
Huh.
It suggests that our individual thoughts and beliefs
Mm.
don't just shape our own personal realities,
Right.
but can actually influence the collective experience.
So it's not just about shaping my own little world.
Right.
My thoughts can actually ripple outwards and affect others.
That's the idea.
Wow.
It's like dropping a pebble into a pond
Okay.
and watching the ripples spread.
Yeah.
Our individual thoughts and intentions
Right.
create ripples in this collective field of consciousness,
Wow.
potentially influencing the thoughts,
Yeah.
feelings, and even the actions of others.
So you're saying that if I focus on love, compassion, and peace,
Yeah.
I might actually be contributing to a more peaceful world.
It's a possibility worth considering.
Yeah.
What if our individual efforts to create positive change in our own lives
Right.
can actually contribute to a more positive world for everyone?
Wow. That's a lot to digest.
It is.
This whole concept of the collective unconscious adds a whole new dimension to this idea of manifestation.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests that we're not just isolated individuals,
Mhm.
but active participants in a larger web of consciousness.
Okay.
And our thoughts and actions have the potential to create ripples that extend far beyond ourselves.
Wow.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still reeling from that collective unconscious revelation.
Yeah,
But let's bring this back down to earth for a moment.
sure.
We've talked about the power of the mind,
Right?
the importance of belief, and the influence of the collective.
Yeah.
But what does this all mean for us on a practical level?
Yeah.
How can we actually start applying these principles to manifest the changes we want in our own lives?
Right.
It still feels a bit overwhelming.
It's understandable to feel overwhelmed. I mean, we're talking about reshaping our realities,
Right.
but think of it as a journey,
Okay.
not a destination.
Right.
And like any journey, it starts with a single step.
So what's that first step?
It goes back to what we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Right.
Start paying attention to your thoughts.
Okay.
Notice the stories you're telling yourself,
Hmm.
the beliefs you're holding on to.
Yeah.
Are they serving you or are they holding you back?
So it's about becoming more mindful of our internal dialogue.
Precisely. Once you're aware of the thoughts that aren't serving you,
Right.
you can start to challenge them.
Okay. How do we do that?
Ask yourself,
Okay.
is this belief really true?
Mm-hmm.
Is there another way of looking at this situation?
So it's not about suppressing negative thoughts. It's about consciously choosing to shift our focus.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose your thoughts.
Okay.
You're not a victim of your mind.
Right.
You're the architect.
That's empowering.
It is.
But how do we actually make those shifts?
As well.
I mean, it's one thing to recognize a negative thought, but how do we stop it from spiraling out of control?
Yeah. One technique that can be incredibly helpful is to create a mental stop sign.
Yeah.
Whenever you catch yourself dwelling on a negative thought,
Yeah.
visualize a bright red stop sign.
Yeah.
It's a way to interrupt the pattern and create a pause.
I like that. It's like a mental circuit breaker.
Yeah.
So we hit the pause button and then what?
Then you consciously choose to replace that negative thought with a more positive and empowering one.
Okay, give me an example.
For example, instead of thinking, I'm never going to get that promotion,
Right.
you could shift to, I'm qualified and capable and I'm going to put my best foot forward.
It sounds so simple, but I can see how powerful that shift in perspective could be.
It is powerful. Remember, your thoughts are energy.
Right.
What you focus on expands. So
Yeah.
by consciously choosing to focus on the positive,
Yeah.
you're aligning yourself with the energy of what you want to create.
Okay, I'm starting to get this.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering, is there a danger of becoming too obsessed with our goals?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What about just letting go and trusting the process?
That's an important point. There's a delicate balance between focused intention and surrender.
Okay.
Once you've set your intention,
Right.
visualized your desired outcome,
Hmm.
and taken aligned action,
Yeah.
it's essential to release the need to control every detail.
So it's not about micromanaging the universe. It's about setting the intention and then allowing things to unfold naturally.
Exactly. Think of it as planting a seed.
Okay.
You can't force it to grow,
Right.
but you can provide the right conditions,
Yeah.
fertile soil,
Hmm.
sunlight, water,
Yeah.
and then trust in nature's intelligence to do the rest.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It reminds me that manifestation isn't about forcing things to happen.
Right.
It's about creating the right internal environment for our desires to take root and blossom.
Precisely. And sometimes the universe has a different plan.
Really?
One that's even better than what we initially envisioned.
You're right. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually in our best interest. So how do we know if we're on the right track?
That's a good question.
How do we distinguish between our true desires and just wishful thinking?
That's where intuition comes in.
Okay.
Your intuition is like an inner compass,
Right.
always guiding you toward what's truly aligned with your soul's purpose.
Okay. But how do we tap into that intuition?
Wow.
It can be hard to hear that inner voice over all the noise of daily life.
It takes practice. Start by creating space for stillness in your day.
Okay.
Even just 5 or 10 minutes of meditation,
Mm-hmm.
journaling,
Yeah.
or spending time in nature
Okay.
can help quiet the mental chatter and allow your intuition to surface.
So it's about tuning in to those subtle whispers,
Yeah.
those gut feelings that often guide us.
Exactly. And the more you pay attention to your intuition,
Mhm.
the louder and clearer it will become.
This is all making so much sense.
Good.
But I also have to admit, there's a part of me that still feels a little skeptical.
Sure, I understand.
Is there any scientific evidence to support this idea that our thoughts can actually influence reality?
That's a great question. And it's one that scientists are actively exploring.
Okay.
While the field of consciousness research is still relatively new,
Right.
there are some fascinating studies that suggest our thoughts may have a measurable impact on the physical world.
Really?
Can you give us an example?
One area of research that's particularly intriguing is the study of quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics suggests that at the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of potentiality
Okay.
until they are observed.
So you're saying that the act of observation actually influences the behavior of matter.
That's the implication.
Wow.
And if our thoughts are in essence a form of observation,
Right.
then it stands to reason that our thoughts might have the power to influence the world around us.
That's mind-blowing. It's like we're literally collapsing possibilities into realities with our minds.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
And while there's still much we don't understand about the nature of consciousness,
Right.
these findings open up some truly exciting possibilities.
Okay, so we've got quantum physics potentially backing up this whole manifestation thing.
Yeah.
But how do we move from theory to practice?
Right?
What are some tangible steps we can take to start manifesting the changes we want in our lives?
One powerful tool is visualization.
Okay.
We touched on it earlier, but let's delve a bit deeper.
Right.
Visualization is not just about seeing images in your mind.
Right.
It's about creating a full sensory experience.
So if I'm visualizing getting a promotion, it's not enough to just see myself in a fancy office.
Right.
I need to feel the excitement, hear the congratulations.
Exactly.
Maybe even imagine the scent of that new leather chair.
Exactly. It's about creating a multi-sensory experience that feels as real as possible.
Okay.
And remember, repetition is key.
Right.
The more you practice visualizing your desired outcome,
Mm-hmm.
the stronger the signal you send to your subconscious mind.
What about affirmations? I've tried those before, but they always felt a bit, cheesy.
Do they really work?
Affirmations can be powerful tools if used correctly.
Okay.
The key is to speak them with conviction and feeling.
Okay.
It's not just about repeating words,
Yeah.
it's about embodying the energy of what you're affirming.
So instead of just saying, I am successful over and over,
Yeah.
it's about feeling that success radiating through me as I say it.
Precisely. Feel the emotion as if it's already happening.
Okay.
Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Right.
So the more you embody the feeling of having what you desire, the more you align yourself with its manifestation.
Okay, so we've got visualization and affirmations.
Yeah.
What are some other practical tools we can use to strengthen our manifestation muscles?
One practice that can be incredibly beneficial is gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is a powerful energy that shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have.
So instead of focusing on what's missing, we're appreciating what's already present in our lives.
Exactly. And when you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you start to attract more good things into your life.
Okay.
It's like you're sending a signal to the universe that you're open and receptive to receiving.
I can see how that would work. When you're feeling grateful, you're naturally in a more positive and receptive state.
Exactly.
What are some ways to cultivate gratitude in our daily lives?
One simple practice is to keep a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for.
3 things.
They can be big things or small things, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
The key is to focus on the positive aspects of your life.
So it could be something as simple as a delicious cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more you focus on the good,
Yeah.
the more good you'll find.
This is all starting to feel less overwhelming and more like something I can actually integrate into my daily life.
That's great.
But what about those times when things don't seem to be going our way?
Yeah.
How do we deal with setbacks and disappointments without falling back into negative thinking?
Setbacks are inevitable. They're part of the journey. The key is to view them not as failures, but as opportunities for growth and learning.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I adjust my approach?
Okay.
Remember, every successful person has faced countless challenges and setbacks along the way.
Yeah.
It's their resilience and determination that ultimately led them to their goals.
So it's about reframing those challenges as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks.
Exactly. And remember, even if things aren't unfolding exactly as you envisioned,
Right.
it doesn't mean the universe isn't working in your favor.
Okay.
Trust that there's a bigger picture at play. And sometimes what seems like a detour is actually leading you to a better path.
That's a comforting thought. It reminds me to have faith in the process even when things get tough.
Exactly.
But how do we cultivate that faith when we're feeling discouraged?
One practice that can be helpful is to connect with something larger than yourself,
Okay.
whether it's nature,
I know.
spirituality, or a
Right.
sense of purpose. Finding something that gives you a sense of meaning and connection can help you weather the storms of life.
So it's about remembering that we're not alone in this journey.
Exactly. We are all interconnected, part of something much larger than ourselves.
Right.
And when you tap into that sense of connection, you access a wellspring of strength and support.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Feel good.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah,
Awareness, intention, action, trust, and connection.
it all works together.
But before we wrap up,
Sure.
I'm curious, what are some common pitfalls people encounter on their manifestation journey? What are some things to watch out for?
One common pitfall is focusing too much on the external outcome
Okay.
and not enough on the internal shift.
Right.
Remember, manifestation isn't about manipulating the universe to give you what you want.
Okay.
It's about aligning yourself with the vibration of what you desire.
So the primary focus should be on cultivating the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that match your desired reality. And the external manifestation will naturally follow.
Exactly. It's an inside-out process.
Another pitfall I've seen is people getting discouraged when they don't see immediate results.
Right.
It's like they give up too soon.
Patience is key. Remember, everything in nature has its own timing.
Right.
A seed doesn't sprout into a tree overnight.
Right.
Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes, even if you can't see the evidence yet.
Okay.
The key is to stay consistent with your practices. Nurture your belief.
Right.
And don't give up on your dreams.
So it's about trusting the process and allowing things to unfold at their own pace.
Exactly. And remember, even if things don't manifest exactly as you envision,
Right.
it doesn't mean you failed.
Oh.
Sometimes the universe has a different plan, one that's even better than you could have imagined.
Oh, wow.
Stay open to possibilities and trust in the journey.
This has been so enlightening. I'm feeling much more equipped to embark on my own manifestation journey.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
But before we move on, I'd love to hear your thoughts on one last thing.
Oh,
The role of intuition in all of this.
intuition.
Yeah.
That inner voice that often whispers wisdom but can be so easily drowned out by the noise of the world.
Right.
Your intuition is a powerful ally in the manifestation process.
Okay.
It can guide you toward aligned actions, help you discern opportunities, and alert you to potential pitfalls.
Oh, okay.
Learning to trust your intuition is key.
So how do we cultivate that trust? It can be hard to distinguish our intuition from our fears or wishful thinking.
It takes practice. Start by paying attention to those subtle nudges, those gut feelings that arise.
Okay.
Notice how they feel in your body.
Mm.
Intuition often feels expansive, calm, and aligned.
Right.
Whereas fear tends to feel constricted and anxious.
Okay.
The more you pay attention to these subtle cues, the more you'll learn to discern your intuition's voice.
So it's about tuning into that inner wisdom and learning to trust its guidance.
Exactly. And remember, your intuition is always there waiting to be accessed. It's like a muscle that gets stronger with use. The more you trust and act on its guidance, the more it will reveal itself to you.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of manifestation.
Okay, I'm glad.
I feel like we've covered so much ground, but I'm sure there's still more to explore.
There's always more to discover, isn't there?
Yeah.
The journey of self-discovery and manifestation is a lifelong adventure.
And it's an adventure that starts within,
Yeah.
with the power of our own minds.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed so far.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll explore some additional insights and practical tools to help you continue your manifestation journey.
Welcome back. You know, all this talk about the power of our minds to shape reality has really got me thinking.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're all walking around with these incredible untapped potentials,
Yeah.
just waiting to be unleashed.
It is incredible, isn't it? And the exciting thing is that we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Right.
Think about it.
If our thoughts and beliefs can influence our own personal realities, what happens when we start to collectively shift our consciousness?
That's a fascinating question. We touched on the collective unconscious earlier.
Yes.
But I'd love to explore that further.
Sure.
It seems like there's a real synergy happening here.
Yeah.
A potential for exponential growth.
Yeah.
When we start to align our intentions and work together.
Absolutely. It's like we're all tuning into the same frequency, amplifying the signal.
Yeah.
Think about those moments in history when massive social change occurred.
Right.
The civil rights movement,
Right.
the women's suffrage movement, the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
These were all fueled by a collective shift in consciousness.
Right.
A shared belief that a different reality was possible.
So you're saying that our individual efforts to create positive change can actually contribute to a larger ripple effect,
Yes.
influencing the collective consciousness and ultimately shaping the world we live in.
That's the idea. It's empowering, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. It's a big responsibility.
It is.
You know, to think that we're not just passive bystanders, but active participants in the evolution of humanity.
Yeah.
But it also feels like a huge responsibility if our thoughts have that much power.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful of what we're putting out into the world.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about manifesting our own desires.
Okay.
It's about aligning those desires with a greater good.
So how do we do that?
It's about asking ourselves,
Yeah.
how can I use this power to make a positive difference in the world?
So manifestation isn't just about getting what we want. It's about becoming more conscious creators,
Exactly.
more responsible stewards of our thoughts and intentions.
Exactly. And when we start to approach manifestation from that perspective, it becomes less about personal gain
Okay.
and more about contributing to a collective awakening.
Right.
It becomes about co-creating a world that's more compassionate and more sustainable.
Okay. I'm feeling inspired,
Good.
but I also have to admit there's a part of me that still wonders, is this all just a bit too idealistic?
I understand.
I mean, the world can feel pretty dark sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's easy to get caught up in all the negativity.
Right.
How do we stay hopeful and focused on creating positive change?
That's a valid question, and it's something we all struggle with at times.
Yeah.
The key is to remember that we always have a choice.
Okay.
We can choose to focus on the darkness,
Right.
or we can choose to focus on the light.
So you're saying we can choose to succumb to fear and despair,
Yeah.
or we can choose to cultivate hope and love.
Exactly. And it's not about denying the existence of darkness or pretending that everything is perfect.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the challenges while choosing to focus our energy on creating a better future.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's about finding that that place of grounded optimism.
Exactly.
But how do we maintain that optimism when we're bombarded with negative news and faced with personal setbacks?
You're right, it's not always easy. That's why it's crucial to cultivate practices that nurture your inner light.
Okay.
Meditation, spending time in nature,
Okay.
connecting with loved ones,
Yeah.
engaging in creative pursuits.
Right.
These are all ways to replenish your energy and reconnect with your inner source of hope and inspiration.
So it's about taking care of ourselves both mentally and emotionally so that we have the strength and resilience to keep showing up for ourselves and for the world.
Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
Taking care of your own well-being is essential if you want to make positive impact.
This has been an incredible conversation. We've covered so much ground, from the power of belief to the collective unconscious, and we've explored practical tools and techniques for harnessing the power of our minds to shape our realities.
It's really amazing stuff, isn't it?
It is
And it all boils down to this. You are a powerful creator.
powerful.
Your thoughts, your beliefs, your intentions,
Yeah.
these are the forces that shape your world.
So what reality will you choose to create?
That's the question we each need to ask ourselves.
Right.
And the answer lies within.
This deep dive has given us a lot to think about and hopefully a lot to be excited about. It's time for us to wrap things up, but the exploration doesn't have to end here. Remember, the power to create the life you desire lies within you. Tap into it, nurture it, and watch your reality transform.